Well, you missed a great weekend of basketball. It was a tremendous Lone Star Conference tournament. I thought our team played really, really well, and I'm really, really proud of our team. I don't really have a whole lot of bad things to say about this weekend. I thought as a whole we played great. We put ourselves in position to win a second championship there, and then we just had one bad quarter. We had a bad third quarter, and had we played a little bit better in the third, then we would have been cutting the nets down on Sunday afternoon. But that didn't happen. And but just like as the season has gone all year, we played really, really well the entire season. And this weekend was kind of the same, more of the same. So I walk out of there disappointed that we didn't win the championship, but pleased overall in how we played. Yeah, and if all you saw were those tournament games, you would say those two were special. But they've kind of been doing that all year, and they've been stepping up when we've needed them to hit shots and make big plays. They've done that all season, and I thought they did that time and time again this weekend. I love it. I love it. People don't realize in Division II how hard it is to get in the top 8 in your region. It's really, really difficult. And if you can get in, it's the seedings, although we're proud of being the 2 seed, no question about it, the seedings don't really matter, especially when you have a region as tough as ours is this year. Our region is really, really difficult. That's a good, because whoever gets out of our region should be able to make some noise at the Elite 8. So it feels great to be going back. I feel very fortunate to have a team that's good enough to be going back again, because like I said, it's just so hard to get in. But now that we're in the dance, hopefully we can make some noise while we're there. Well, that's a tough thing. And I guess I'm just glad that I was not on the committee, because those committees have to make such tough decisions. Because if you look at our basketball resume, I will put it up against anybody's, anytime, anywhere. And that's not only the wins that we did receive and get credit for, but also the wins that we had that we don't get credit for. We beat a very good Western Washington team that is out of region, so it's like we never played them. And they're number 2 in their region. We beat a Division I team who went on to have a pretty good year. And those are things you don't get credit for when a committee sits down to break down your season. And we didn't have very many regional losses at all. So I would put our resume up against anyone's. But the committee chose to go to Pueblo, and that's where we're going to play, and we're excited to go. Well, just remind our team that it's called March Madness for a reason, and the 7 can upset the 2 anytime. It happened on the men's side of the Lone Star Conference, and we reaped the benefits from that, watching our guys do what they did. It's March Madness for a reason, and I think this year in particular, we have 8 really good teams going. I don't think I felt this way last year. I felt we had 4 really good teams last year in the regional tournament. But I think this year we have 8, which should make for great games. There should be 4 terrific games on Friday to see who advances. I think the sky's the limits when it comes to confidence. Just because they've been there before, I think being in the tournament last year really helps them understand and know what they're in for. We're playing really, really well right now. Like I said earlier, we really have only just had one bad quarter. In a whole weekend, we played terrific. We take the third quarter away, we're fine. So we don't really have a whole lot to be unconfident about. So I like our chances. I like the fight of our team. It's not going to be easy for any team in that regional tournament, no matter how well you're playing. So. But I've said all along, I would not bet against the moxie of this team. They're too good. You would think that they would be down, disappointed that they didn't win on Sunday afternoon. You would think that would be their demeanor, their body language, but we're not getting any of that. We're getting confident. I watched their body language Sunday after the game. After they got over the initial disappointment, it was terrific. It was, Coach, when do we leave? When do we fly out? Where do we go? Who are we playing? They're excited about their opportunities. They're excited that, I think they're just confident enough to believe that they can beat anybody. So I don't really have a whole lot to do with that, but I know the attitude of our team is really, really good, and I feel great about where we're headed. Well, I think probably the biggest thing is, last year when we went into it, everybody knew LCU was head and shoulders the team to beat in the regional tournament. This year, the obstacle is all other 7 teams in it, because everybody's so good this year. And I really anticipate all these regional games to be very much like the WT game was for us on Saturday. It's going to be whoever's playing the best of that day, whoever's the best prepared, whoever's the most focused, and I hope that's us. I believe that it can be. I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up because I wasn't going to bring it up to them, kind of like if ignorance is bliss. And, I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's been a long time since I've played in the RMAC schools where there is some elevation. I would imagine if that is a problem, we'll just sub in and out a little bit more, try to keep them a little bit more fresh. But we'll see. We'll see. I wonder if that stuff will really, really bother them or if we can just play through it like most anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me that we'd have beat them 10-0 and 7-1 before the game started, I would have said you're crazy. But man, our team just played extremely well. We had a great start to the game, scoring 4 in the first inning, and then Brandy just cruised from there, and we're able to get another big home run out of Courtney Barnhill and put them away 10-0, and then come out and score 7 in game 2 against another really good pitcher. I'm telling you, their two kids can pitch, and we played really well. Scored 17 runs in 10 innings of offense. We only hit 4 times in the first game and 6 in the second game. So it was a great week or a great day for us. Had the weekend off, but it was a great day for us. And if you're going to have a bye weekend, that's the way you want to go into it, with 2 big wins. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, we know we have a talented team, and we have a team that's playing really well. But we understand there's a couple games that we could have lost this year, but we battled and figured out a way to win it. And we got good competition coming up, starting Wednesday with St. Mary's. So we know that it's a long season, and we're playing really well right now. But there's ebbs and flows that goes within a season, and we're going to have to make sure that we can battle the times where we're not playing great softball. But we know we have a talented team and a pitching staff that can go out and pitch, and then really you look at every position on the field defensively right now, and they're playing extremely well. So that's huge. When it's hard for the other team to score, it's hard to lose. Well, I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to be negative just to be negative. If we're playing pretty good and we're not doing anything wrong, I'm not going to make them feel bad about themselves for no reason. I mean, we're just going to go out and continue to practice the way that we have been and prepare the way that we have. And if there's things that we see here and there that we got to work on, then we'll address those. But we'll continue to mentally have them prepared to every game with our defensive practices. Pretty much the same way that we always do. And it's up to them to continue to play the way that they're playing right now. But we're not going to beat them down if they don't need beaten down. I mean, that's not my theory. It's not the way I go about doing business. But I'll catch their attention if they need it. But so far, so good. And I enjoy being able to go out to the ballpark every day and go to practice, knowing I got a group of kids that are going to come out and give me everything they got every day. Well, we feel good. We've had some great teams throughout the years. There's no doubt about it. And you kind of know when you have all the pieces together and when you have the work ethic to go with it, you may have a chance for a special group. And we do feel like we have a chance to have a special group. But, it's this region and South Central region, Lone Star Conference. There's talented players playing everywhere. And there's going to be some epic battles that are going to take place. But I like the fact that we've played 20 games, we've lost 1, and it was a 4-3 game. So, we're feeling pretty good, but we know St. Mary's is going to come in here, and it's going to be epic Angelo State St. Mary's softball, which is always a battle, and 2 teams that are going to be in the regional tournament more than likely and have a chance to try to go back to a national tournament. Well, we're hitting the ball for power right now. And that's something that we lacked last year, is the ability to go out and hit that 3-run home run in crucial situations. And it's not just 1 or 2 players doing it. It could be anybody in the lineup that's capable of doing that. And I think we've got 4 players with 5 home runs or more, and that's big when you know that you can get that big hit out of anybody in the lineup and not just depending on 1 or 2 players to do it. And I think that's something that some other teams may be lacking, and there's a couple other teams that are in the same boat we are that know they have that offensive threat. But you look at our pitching stats, and those numbers are crazy. I think we've only given up 30-something runs all year, which is not very many. And if we can, like I said, if they can't score, they can't win, and so far so good. But we got to figure out a way on Wednesday to beat Jordan Russell and Ashley Mills, 2 really good pitchers at St. Mary's, and they're ranked number 3 in the country right now. And those 2 kids can pitch, and we saw them last year and had a little bit of success against them. But then at the same time, they were able to shut us down a couple of times. So it's going to be a great matchup this Wednesday here at Meyer Stadium. Well, it's a tough stretch or a fun stretch, and I like to think of it as a fun stretch. Baseball, softball coaches, there's a reason why we chose baseball, softball, and that's because we get to play 56 to 60 games a year instead of 10, like football. So, it's going to be a fun stretch for us, starting spring break. So we decided that when we had Eastern at Eastern that we'd try to get Lubbock Christian on Monday. So we'll spend the day in Lubbock and figure out something to do, and then get back home, and got a good Oklahoma Christian team coming into town on that Thursday, and then West Texas A&M to finish up spring break here, which will be a big series. But so we got a good stretch ahead of us, a lot of softball to be played, a lot of games, and it's hopefully a good opportunity to get into a good groove offensively.
That's a good question, Jonathan. I don't know how I feel. I'm excited about the World Baseball Classic. That's my excitement level right now. I thought it showed, we've been playing 3-game series and changed to 4, and that changes the dynamics a lot. And it was something we were worried about going into it, and then I think we got to Game 4, and you saw why we were worried. So that's something we've got to figure out an answer to. One, we need to have a couple more pitchers step up and be able to consistently go out there and throw strikes and get outs. We were not able to do that yesterday, put ourselves in a big hole. However, the very positive part of it was, man, our guys, it's one of those losses, no, we don't like to lose, but we play so many games, we're going to lose. But our guys competed great. We battled back. If we could have just found a pitcher to put up a 0, feel like you win that game. But so proud of how we played. We did not play well, but we competed well. And, I'd like to obviously play well too, but it just showed us some things we've got to improve on and work on going forward. And if we get those things fixed, then we'll be in good shape. If not, then we'll probably struggle, and that's the thing. We're off to a great start, and that's exactly what it is. It's a start. There's so much longer to go, and so we're not throwing any parties yet. Well, what's so tough is managing the bullpen. Like yesterday, like for example, Jake Mathis, we threw twice Saturday. Could he have gone yesterday? Yeah, but we got 38 more games, and so you make the decision of, okay, we throw Jake, feel like he can go give us 3 or 4 innings, but we just used him pretty heavy on Saturday. You've got to, it's the thing, you got to play for the long run. And sometimes the short run, things don't happen the way you want. But also, too, we need opportunities for guys in games, They get them in practice. And sometimes you have the guy maybe that struggles in practice that, the lights come on and boom, man, he gets it done. Or sometimes vice versa. So gave a couple more opportunities. Guys did not really take advantage of those. And they're going to get more because we can't lean so heavily upon Jake and Joe and Angel like we have for a 4-game series. And then our starters got to get us deeper into games. That's the biggest thing. And that's also up to our offense, get them a big lead, and we can keep the starter in deeper into games. So it's a whole team thing, and we're going to focus on that and get better at it. Well, the thing is, everybody thinks Eastern New Mexico sucks, so probably the message we sent is, golly, Angelo State ain't near as good as they're supposed to be. If you want to know, be honest. Now, having said that, again, I talked about it last week. Eastern put up some great numbers. They were leading the country in runs scored, all that stuff, but largely against inferior competition. Man, they were legit. They were a really good team. I don't look forward to going to Portales in April or whenever we go. So, and then those games too, again, I know everybody gets hung up on conference, but all that matters is the regional. Lone Star Conference regular season baseball champion has not even made the regional half the time I've been here. So it doesn't matter. All that matters are these little tournaments that we play. Well, it was about, he threw great. He threw like the Matt Shannon we needed to see out there, and, he hadn't been that. And, it's sort of how he started out last year. The first month was a little slow, and then he sort of hit his stride and then was the guy we needed him to be. He has to be that guy for us to do the things we want to do. He's got to be the guy that goes out there game one, wins it. I mean, wins it. If he has to, if we don't score, he's got to go pitch until we do. He's got to set that tone and that standard, and he's capable of doing that. And so it was just outstanding to see him throw like the old Matt Shannon on Friday night.
Yeah, we're excited. We got a good representation of kids there. I think we got 7 guys going, and we got 4 girls, so that's a good crowd. I think they understand, though, that's just part of it. We've got to get there and do something once we're there. Actually, we had 2 that we weren't expecting to get in. Jasmine Silliman in the 200 got in, and Edward Simmons in the 60, and they were extremely happy. And Eddie could actually get up there and do something, I think, once he's there. Well, we need something from everybody. Obviously everybody's not going to score when they get there, but what we try to tell them is if you get there and you did what you did to get there, when you do that, actually do that in the meet, then you're probably going to finish at least as high as you were ranked, and we'll be happy that way. Yeah, I think it went the way we expected. We've got some good kids, and everybody there we expected to be there except those other 2, and they had some surprisingly good performances at conference, and were rewarded for it. But everybody else that's there, we expected to be there at the first of the year. Well, a lot of it hinges on Luis Perez, and he's the guy that's been huge for us his 4-year career, and he's been out since conference. So we're hoping that he's healthy enough to help himself and help us, and the rest of the guys are ready to do what they can. I mean, we've got 3 other guys, and we've got another guy that's ready to go if we need him. So we're excited about it. Oh, Trinity competes. She's not going to let the lights affect her. She'll get up there and she'll do what she does. And don't know if she'll be All-American or not, but she's gonna have a very good performance.